So hi guys, and welcome back to J9 Retail Books. This week I shall be telling you what I managed to read in November. This is a very short list of... oh, it's not actually. I just thought of something that I didn't add. Damn it, I didn't put it in. I have to change it on Goodreads. I forgot I finished listening to another book and completely forgot. Admin during videos. It's good. Yes. So, I managed to manage 6 items this month, which not perfect, but is actually quite good for me. I've managed to succeed mostly with what I wanted to actually accomplish, like the bare minimum, so I am happy. So we shall now quit saying so, hopefully, and I shall go into what I have finished, and this will actually be the order in which I finished it as well, just to help me along. The first place we're going to delve into is my phone here with the Audible app. I actually listened to Truth or Die by James Patterson and Howard Rogaine. Now this was one of the standalone thrillers, which are always really good. I love the James Patterson standalones are good as well as his series. I like James Patterson full stop. And as I've said many times before, I do love the Audible versions as well. Listening to his books, they are always really fun to listen to. It is fantastic. The idea here is to remember what I listened to, and I actually can't. I finished this, I listened to most of this the 1st of November. It's an entire month later. So I can't remember a huge amount, but I do remember that I enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. So saying that, I'm going to have a look and see what it says. Try and get my phone to work. No, not that one. This one. Open up my Goodreads and see what it says, because I really want to remember what it is. It was intriguing and interesting, so I should be happy. Audible folder, Truth or Die. Let's have a look. Okay, I roughly remember now. The story's about Trevor Mann, who is an attorney, and he thinks life is going fairly well. Until the moment that his journalist girlfriend Claire is murdered while she's researching a story. In essence, there's a government cover-up and all sorts of stuff in this. I can't remember a huge amount, I'm not going to lie, but I enjoyed this. This was a really nice audio, and I will listen to it again, and when I listen to it again I probably will pick up more of the details and remember to retain them. It takes me a couple of goes with most books. This had a little bit of a storyline, but not... It's a bit more complicated than some of the other ones that I've listened to lately, so it was a lot harder for me to retain that information apparently. So that's always fantastic. The next book that I finished, next book that I read in this month is this beauty. This is Saga, Volume 1. So this is the audiobook, this is the graphic novel, this is the compilation of the first 18 issues. It's so pretty. This is beautiful. I love this. It's just amazing. I've read graphic novels before and some of the comics, so and I've read some manga before. I'm not completely new to graphic novels and graphic reading, but I found this really interesting. My friend Tracy over at Flamingo Reads has raved about this for a while, and other people did as well. And so yeah, I bought this in London. You saw it in my London book haul, and I enjoyed it, and I am now waiting for the next book. I'm going to be ordering the hardback these books because it gives me, it's a bit longer between then, which means it gives me more than enough time to save to pay for it. They're not that expensive. It's not like it's a giant extravagant expense, but this cost me £30, I think, a bit less than £30 if I remember rightly, which is fine. I pay lots of money for various things in my life. I'm quite happy to pay for a hardback graphic novel that much. It's not a problem. So yes, I am eagerly awaiting the next one, and it'd be nice to see how this develops, because it is very interesting and I like the idea. All the different characters have all got different quirks, and it's lovely, and the artwork is beautiful, and so I cannot wait for the next instalment. Where are we next? We are heading back into my phone here for another Audible. This was New Jack by Ted Conover. This is his this is a non-fiction. This is his account of a year spent as a prison guard at Sing Sing in New York. He basically, Ted Conover was trying to do an actual journalistic piece on it, but getting the truth out of anybody, getting anything out of anybody other than propaganda, or even getting an interview, was really difficult. And so he actually decided to become a guard at Sing Sing and experience it for himself. And then the account of his time doing so. This was really, really interesting. The audiobook is actually read by Ted Conover, so it's amazing because you get everything comes out exactly how the author intended it to. Which is really amazing. It's nice to hear authors read audiobooks, their own audiobooks. It doesn't always happen very much. Tamara Pierce is the only other person I've got that does read her own audiobooks. For the Forecast audio anyway, she is the narrator, so she narrates everything that isn't dialogue, and so that's amazing to hear her read that as well. This was just interesting and intriguing, and just like hearing about the stress and just the various aspects of the job and different places to work and the different levels of jobs and the hierarchy and what you can get away with, what you can't get away with, the different characters you come across, the stress they involved. It seems to be a very stressful job, and some people thrive on it, other people just survive, and really, really interesting. I like this enough that I've actually got, I think it's called Rolling From Nowhere, from Ted Conover, another one, an Audible. I actually purchased that with my credits in November. So that's going to be something that's actually going into next year. Obviously December's already TBR'd up completely, but this will probably go into January. And I'm probably going to check out some more Ted Conover. I was intrigued by this, and I may even look into getting hold of the actual book so that I can read it as well. But finances and whether everything else will depend on that one. My little notepad. Where are we next? Next we are Jane Eyre. I finished this. This was my lovely, beautiful Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition that Tracy made me buy. Sorry, Tracy. I'm going to keep saying this on various videos until I've gone through the books that you didn't make me buy. But Tracy made me buy this. I love Jane Eyre. I know the story. I've read it before. This is the first time I've read it in a few years. This is one of my favourite books. I love the character of Jane Eyre. I love the story. I love Edward. It's just, it's one of the classics that I enjoy reading, and I will probably reread several times in my lifetime. I'm never going to not read this. I'm tempted to look into an audiobook just to see if I can find a nice narration as well. Not something that I'm looking into because I'm a complete book nerd. Welcome to my world. I read this in, sorry, I've got a video uploading in the background. I read this in preparation for reading Jane Slayer, which is Vampires and Werewolves and Jane Eyre combined. I'm currently reading that at the moment, so that is really, really, really interesting. So I suppose in terms of a wrap up, I haven't finished this, but I am on page 101. This is due back on the 10th of December, so this is my current reading book because I've got to finish it and return it to the library. The other book that I finished was my other library book, which was The Devil's Acre. I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. This is this is historical fiction. This is a plot based around Samuel Colt opening up his a gun factory in London in Victorian England in 1853, and his struggles to get the government to want to buy his guns, and struggles of hiring who he hires, and the Irish gangs are involved, and it was just an intriguing storyline to find out all these things are happening. And then towards the sort of, you're reading bits and it's all very much intro. This is really good world building as well. Like, this was, you got the details but you didn't get too many details. When you're reading stuff, you get bits as you go through, which is fantastic for me. I don't like having lots of stuff that I don't need to read, if that makes any sense. So this is very, very interesting, and just seeing that you basically see Samuel Colt develop through the eyes of his secretary, which is Edward Lowry, I think it's Lowry, who is in some ways the main character of this book. It's based around his experience, and he is the Englishman's view into the building of Samuel Colt and how his factory goes and all the things like that. And so you see Edward like in awe of Samuel Colt and what he does and how he does it and what he manages to accomplish. And then you see through the book how maybe everything's not quite as it seems on the surface, and the subplot with the Irish gang, which is the Irish gang of Mollies as well. I read the stuff in the back of the book, and this is historical fiction. This is based on events, obviously, but then people and other bits in there are fictionalised. There isn't much in the way of records. So this is good historical fiction. I will look into Matthew Clampin, who was the author. I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for more of his stuff and just see how he's written. This was his second novel. So it'll be nice to see, read his debut and see what he's published since. I haven't had a look yet, but definitely worth a check out. Even if you are not, if you think like me, you're maybe not a huge fan of Victorian London or any of the books written around that era, give it a go. If you like historical fiction, but you've maybe stuck to, I've read a lot from the Tudor era, and that's about it really. Most of my historical fiction comes from them. Philippa Gregory is my normal historical fiction person. Definitely have a look. And if you do like reading books, Victorian English books, think Victorian England, stuff like that, this is a very good book to read. I love the plot, the characters, everything worked really well for me. So I'm very happy that I took the plunge and actually got that out of the library. It worked really well. The last thing for this month is another audiobook here on my phone, and it was The Girl in the Spider's Web by, I can't remember his name. I think I'd remember, but no, this is me. Sorry. David Lagerkrantz? I'm not sure. It is the continuation of the Millennium series by Stieg Larsson. This is approved by his estate, his wife, I don't know if they were married, his partner doesn't approve as much. I love this. This is really good. There is a little difference. You can tell Stieg Larsson didn't write this one, but it's not huge. The storyline is there, Solander and Bloomquist are there, everyone's characters, it's fine. You don't feel like you are reading something different. There's a nice passage of time. I think it's set about a year after the end of The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, so it's enough length of time to have stuff for all the characters, level off, sort themselves out, and then you could dive back in. Yawning today. I enjoyed this. It was really good to listen to. I will look into getting the paperback when that comes out. I'm not buying the hardback, but definitely enjoyed this. And anybody out there who is wary, yes, it's not written by Stieg Larsson, but it is the characters and they are in there, so it is definitely worth a look at, whether it's a case of getting it out of the library if you don't want to spend any money on it. If at this point you're still building a Christmas list, feel free to put it on there. Borrow it off somebody, audiobook it, Kindle it if you or ebook it. It's definitely worth a check, definitely worth a read. And I will, if they do any more, because I think there's possible talks of him, David Lagerkrantz, writing more, I will check them out. I'm impressed. I like it basically. So that's my November wrap up. So 3 audiobooks, 2 novels and a graphic novel. Not too bad for me. It's quite a bit of reading, especially The Girl in the Spider's Web. I think it's about 10-12 hours long. It's one of the longer audiobooks. So actually being able to listen to that is actually quite an accomplishment in an entire month for me. December's TBR is already up, so you can go watch that and you will see what my plans are for December. Obviously I filmed that before I didn't finish this, so this is an addition to my December TBR. I need to finish this book. And yeah, next week's video, if I film the one I want to film, so I'm going to put this up here to make me film it, will be my book pet peeves. All those little things about books or ebooks or audiobooks or all that kind of the book world that annoys the hell out of me. Basically I'm going to rant for a few minutes next week. It's going to be fun, and I hope that everyone comes and joins and then enjoys. If you've read any of these books or want to read any of these books or want to ask me any questions, comments always welcome down below. Please like, comment and subscribe to see more videos from me, and I will see you next Friday here in my book nerd world. Bye guys!